I still, Joe, to this day use our relationship as colleagues, fellow executives, and then of course, I reported to you as really the ideal setting. That was as good as it got, because I think at one point we controlled the whole back office
Yeah.
of a billion-dollar company, and, I don't ever remember a single time when we disagreed or were sideways with each other. I mean, in fact, I think everybody realized those 2 get along fine, impossible to drive a wedge between them, and their sole desire is to promote the company, do what's right for the company and all of that. So I think we were blessed in that regard, so it was an easy time for me.
Well, yeah, and then I know we want to get on, but this is, I think, it's probably at the core of executive leadership. And I'll never forget, and this was one of the lessons that you taught me early on, and I share this story with our teams to this day, whenever the opportunity presents itself. But you had taken over the IT organization. They put me in responsibility for the finance organization, and those two organizations back then did not get along. So we knew we had some heavy lifting to do, but I'll never forget the first day in, you said, I'd like to sit down with you, Joe, and let's just talk a little bit about how we're going to work together effectively and bring this and unite these teams. And you said something in that meeting, Mike, that has stuck with me through my entire executive career, which is people are going to come to you. They're going to say things about my organization. People are going to come to me and they're going to say things about your organization that you're responsible for. All I ask of you, Joe, don't respond. Don't jump on their side. Identify what it is. Set up a time. You and I can then talk about the situation and get to the truth, and then we'll align. And that gets back to your point, Mike, is not allowing a wedge, right? It's the
Yeah,
mommy daddy scenario. Kids are really
yeah,
good about that. They learn that which buttons they can push with one and create that divide between parents. Same thing
yes.
is so important at the executive level.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, thank you for that. That's a great compliment. And I remember saying that, and not that I was teaching you anything, because you agreed with it. I mean, if I didn't say that, you were probably going to say it to me. But the lesson for the impressionable, the emerging leaders out there is that these two organizations, and they were large organization, we're talking hundreds of people on both sides, they were not used to getting along with each other. They were stovepipe, they were adversarial. So we knew it was going to happen. And they did come to us. People started complaining, nitpicking about your group, and you got that same thing about my group. And when they realized we didn't overreact and that we always got together, and that the answer that we would give our respective people in almost every case is, hey, why don't you go down and address it with that guy? You like walk across the aisle and talk to them. I think they got so tired of hearing us say that they stopped coming to us with frivolous, nitpicky, petty complaints and all of that. And amazingly, they learned, they're making us work together. They're not going to relent. Maybe we need to just start doing professional relationships, So,
But it's the old adage, and you say this all the time, right? Hey, bring me problems, just don't bring me your problems. I mean, you have to
yeah,
work through those dynamics. And again,
yeah,
I mean, this is so logical, but it's the things that people forget about when they're in the fight of business challenges day in and day out, and that
yeah.
responsibility as an executive to, you know, help your people grow, but growth comes with pain and experience. You can't give somebody all the answers, and you can't do somebody else's job for them.